Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video, as you can tell, we've gotten our 5-star frame for Supreme Arena. So now all we're trying to do is hold in the top 20 for the rewards, and our rank has tanked down a little bit. And I thought for today's video, we can look at all of the top 10 Supreme Arena defenses, try to analyze and evaluate them briefly, and so you guys have a good idea of which different types of defenses you can set, because we have made a lot of defense showcases of my defenses and my thought process in making them, but you guys may not have the same heroes as me, and hopefully by looking through all of the top 10 defenses pretty quickly, you can get an idea of which type of team might work out pretty well for you. So we'll go ahead and begin challenging. We have rank 9 Malone. Okay, we'll click challenge and we will try to analyze them. Now, in the hidden tiles, we have no idea what is here, so we're going to be skipping them for the most part, unless there are enough unrevealed or like revealed heroes that we can kind of come to a guess of what he's running. But here, I have no idea. Scarlita Stroll type team, probably. Okay. Raging Duel, especially in this mode, because you get your rage stack when you apply control effect onto the enemy. Almas, Iron, Arden, these are all heroes which do really well, and definitely Elsa as well. So this is a very interesting team. I like it a lot. As you can see from my lineup, that's kind of the defense I'm running, with Lily May here as well to interrupt enemy Irons. So if you have a Lily May build, I think the best place to keep her for a defense would be on this lineup, because almost always people are going to try to bring Iron to inflict the control effects on you at the beginning of the match. Lily May is going to interrupt that and counter that really hard, and then it really counters Almas and everything, because Almas wants that initial Iron ultimate to begin, then, you know, snowballing in all of his crowd control. So definitely this is a strong team. He also has Igor in the back to defend against any like Vala type marking, which is really smart as well, because people do like to bring Vala into teams like this, and if Elsa is in the back, Vala can target it and she can be in trouble. He's gone for the Crescent spell for more magical damage, but I really like the Enlightening spell here, because if you have, but I mean obviously he doesn't want Enlightening spell on Igor, so for that I can understand. And then for his number 3 defense, he has a Freyasto, Talene type team. We don't know which is the illusion and which is the main Freyasto, but I would imagine that the main Freyasto is in front of Talene, because normally you would want Talene to get that energy generation, although damage reduction is not bad for it either. And so he has kind of like a double threat sort of team here, Sylvina and Vala both, which I think is a really good and viable option. But the problem on defense is, of course, you can just run one tank in the back, like we have Granny in the back here, and it will eat up all of the marks from Sylvina and Vala as well. So on defense, I don't think they're amazing, but of course he still has a tanky Freyasto. He has the Talene for a damage threat, and he has a Temesia who will be jumping into your team, dealing damage, and reducing your physical defenses, which is going to increase the damage Sylvina and Vala can deal. So this is pretty much a Sylvina and Vala comp. So I would definitely imagine for his first team, probably a Thorin type Stroll team with Scarlita. Okay, let's take a look at who else we have here. We have Svoka, who is currently rank 2. On his first team, looking like a crowd control team. The positioning seems weird. I wonder if he's even changed his defense since this is, I mean, it's the end of the week now. I'm sure he has changed it, but I feel really strange about this Carolina position especially. You don't want her to be targeted so easily by like Vala and Sylvina. But anyway, it looks like a crowd control team with Lumont as a tank, and he has the evocation spell onto Iron to maybe counter Lily Mays, who are trying to interrupt his first run. And then he has confining spell in a crowd, like, well, not really crowd control team. He has his Stroll team. Yeah, I think he hasn't changed up his formation. He's just trying to hold top 20 of Supreme Arena, because the Thorn is not even soul pacting anything. But this looks like a Stroll type Scarlita team, similar to the defense I'm running, which, if you want to know, is exactly this offense we're running for Team 3. This is the defense I'm running there as well. And for his final team, he has Freyasto. One Freyasto in the back to try and take the Vala mark. He has the Burial here as well, which does well. This is kind of like a zoo team with the healing from Ludovic, the summons from Floribel, and then you have the Burial as well. It's going to be tanky, it's going to be difficult to kill, it has utility. However, I think, for example, Stroll type team, like Scarlita teams are going to do well into this because I don't think the enemy has major kill threat other than the Vala, and they're just trying to work you down over time. And if you have enough healing, you're probably going to be able to heal long enough and let Scarlita come down and try to wipe out the enemies. But if you don't have a Scarlita, then I can definitely see this may be really difficult to clear. This team. So this is his final team. Similar to like a zoo type team, Freestro, Florabelle, Burial are running a lot of zoo teams for people who have all of those heroes built up. Then we have Astari who is rank 2 right now. Completely hidden on the first defense over here. He's decided for his Raging Duel. He's not going to go for major crowd control. There is still crowd control in his team, and he doesn't even have a factional synergy, but he has the Granny up in the face along with Shakir, which is really difficult to deal with because once Shakir gets his Lupine's aura off, the damage reduction onto Granny and his own lifesteal onto himself with the Damien healing them, they might not be killable. And the Granny is right in their face. She will be able to inflict crowd control when she has her ultimate, and he has the Vala and the Temesia off in the back. And so hopefully he's hoping that Vala is like kind of stays out of harm's way. However, I think she can be marked from this position by an enemy Vala. And then he has a Temesia to try run back and forth. Temesia is really strong with Vala with her seasonal skill because that is going to increase the physical damage taken by adjacent enemies. So very interesting team here. Definitely I think Shakir, Temesia do well together because Temesia is usually going to be right in the enemy's team and Shakir will be there as well. So Shakir can buff up the Temesia. And he is running the evocation spell. For his team 3, he's running Taylene on the empowered tile, which is... It is definitely a good decision. However, I feel like maybe she could be targeted, like if you position your entire team to go right for the Taylene. But then, of course, Taylene can revive, so that is the thing. And he's gone for basically he's gone for almost a Stroll type team, but with Taylene. And I really like that idea because with Taylene, you need her to be healed and protected, so either Thorn Soul Pact or have a lot of healers in order to allow her to get a lot of value off with her ultimate and cast it throughout the entire fight. And even when she's resurrecting, if there's healing from her team, that is going to cause her to resurrect quicker because she's going to receive that healing even in her resurrection state. So definitely having a lot of healers with Taylene, I like that idea a lot. And he also has a Coco for the damage reduction. If Coco can cast an ultimate and the whole team is alive, that is also going to allow the Taylene to continue ulting and last for longer. One thing I've seen about Taylene though is that she can be kind of countered with crowd control. Like if people have Florabelle and knock up the Taylene, it will interrupt her ultimate. So that is something to keep in mind about that. Okay, so we saw a lot of defenses right here, 3 of them. Let's try to find some different ones. We have Lenzola and Anima Vesta. So Lenzola is someone also competing for the top 5 of Supreme Arena, usually always in the top 20. Looking like a Stroll team here. Again, I mean, I would not really want Haywin to be taking like a Vala mark or Sylvina mark, but maybe he has a Thorn protecting her. We'll have to see on the other teams. Here he has a Mauler team. Mauler can be used in the Raging Duel, but again, the problem for this specific Raging Duel, which is unlike other ones, is that you have, you stack your Rage with crowd control. However, his idea is that he knows a lot of crowd control teams revolve around Wilders. So if he has a Mauler team, hopefully he can just break through the Wilders, even if they stack up their Rage first, kill 1 or 2 enemies, and then have the advantage. And he has Brutus way in the back, so if I brought a Vala here, for example, it would be marking the Brutus. So that is really a smart positioning for him as well. However, I think the Smokey and Odie maybe should be in a different position because we would want that they cannot be targeted by Rainier or targeted by like a Sylvina jump onto that. Smokey would be really devastating for his team. But yeah, interesting team. 3 frontliners, which Shakir is really strong because then they'll all get the benefit of Lupine's aura. And then here we have a Thorin, Carolina team with some Wilders as well. Overall, just very solid team. Definitely Carolina on the empowered tile along with Thorin protecting her is a... It is a scary combo because she's going to deal a lot of damage, she's going to be well protected, and he's running double tanks here, just like I'm also running. A lot of people are running double tanks in this lineup because I guess you can have 1 tank here in front of your protected empowered ally, and then 1 tank here for the other position in the map. And he's gone for the evocation spell. So definitely a pretty strong defense over there. We have Anima Vester, rank 3, a very top-ranking player. Diurnal on his final team. Diurnal and Vala together. Okay, again, so this is going to be kind of like, we don't know, maybe Graveborn stall. But again, having the Ludovic in the back, you don't really want that unless he's protected by the Thorin. Because otherwise, like, look at my Val and Sylvina. If they would both jump onto him, he is going to be in a really bad position. He's going to probably get nuked down really close to the beginning of the match. And here we have the Granny crowd control oriented team, but with Haywin for some more healing. And definitely, I think also the thing is to keep in mind, if you have limited options, these teams are good to have the crowd control. Granny does have crowd control in her kit, and of course, if you're running crowd control heroes, you're going to be running a lot of Wilder, so getting the factional synergy from Wilder is good. And if Haywin can survive long enough and get off her ultimate for the damage reduction, that is going to keep her team alive for longer, kind of doing what Coco almost does in the damage reduction. And it will buy time for her team to get off all of her rage stacks. So yeah, this is a standard pretty much crowd control team. Interesting, he's not running Iron here. I wonder where he's running Iron in the final team. Okay, he has like a triple threat team, which definitely is really scary because like you can put one tank in the back like we have here to take the Sylvina and Vala mark. That's fine. But then the Diurnal is a whole different threat that you want to deal with as well. And definitely Diurnal on this tile Soul Pact to Thorin is really difficult to deal with. I mean, maybe you could try to bring a Thorin of your own to run in front of the Thorin, but then Vala is going to mark that whatever hero you put over there. But you could probably do something like that, maybe. Yeah, but definitely, I do like these triple threat teams. Another way you can run it, for example, you don't have Diurnal, is you can run OD, Sylvina, Vala in a triple threat team. People do that, and it becomes like the opponent like has to position in a lot of different ways. But I also like definitely Vala and Sylvina on the hidden tiles because then the opponents don't know how to position to counter them, so that's kind of the other advantage you can get there. But either way, this is definitely a strong team. He has a crowd control with Iron to lock down the team, and Iron does well in basically any team because he'll buy time for your team. And for your damage dealers, your threats, and also Diurnal to ramp up for his damage from his ultimate, you want to buy time. So Iron is going to buy that time. And so yeah, definitely a strong team option here as well. Okay, so we've seen a lot of the defenses so far. Soraka we haven't seen. Splash as well is the rank 1 player right now. First team Thorin type team, okay. And we have no idea about the hidden tiles, so this is pretty good. And in the second team, he is running full Wilder crowd control team. Now, the thing, Brian also has stuns in his kit, so he will also try to ramp up the rage for his side. Also, there is the Arden and the Iron for the crowd control. Leica, I mean, she gives the attack speed buff. I don't think necessarily she has crowd control in her kit, but it is going to be a 5 Wilder team here. And the thing is, if I'm running Lily May is going to lock onto the Brian and not interrupt the Iron. So Brian is also here to counter Lily May on the enemy team. I'm pretty sure that's how it works because people told me that if they run Iron and Brian together, then Brian is going to take the Lily May aggro for the interruption, and Iron should be able to cast his ultimate. And then for the final team, it is a Freyestro tanky team with Shakira. Again, definitely very strong team here. With Scarlita, you want to have a lot of tankiness so that you don't die and your units don't get killed off before she descends. That is the most important thing. So Freyestro does really well with that for like providing enough frontline that your team should survive and have enough surviving allies by the time Scarlita descends to deal her true damage. And Shakir, of course, does well in a team like this because Shakir can buff up Freyestro himself, not the illusion, but can buff up Freyestro, and I think he has the damage reduction from the illusion onto the Shakir to have Shakir even tankier and more difficult to deal with. And then he has the powerful healing in the back with the Cascade spell and the Haywin to get her damage reduction quickly and healing for her team. So definitely a very strong team over there. Now let's take a look at Splash. So Splash is going to go for the full crowd control team with Ulmus over here with Lily May as well. So now here's the thing, right? We can interrupt his Iron with our Lily May. but he is going to interrupt our Iron with his Lily May. So definitely I think a team like this is almost optimal for the Raging Duel. Almas, Iron. Almas increases the crowd control by the most. So for this Raging Duel where you want that increased crowd control into the enemies, probably Almas is the best option here. And of course he has an amazing 5 factional synergy for the bonus stats. And he has Arden in the back, which I mean, yeah, I mean, you could try to bring Vala to try and kill that Arden. But Arden with the Cascade spell, if you don't kill him in time, he is going to get off his ultimate for the additional crowd control. And definitely a very scary team to deal with. I think maybe the only, maybe consideration would be going for a lightning spell onto the Arden instead of the Cascade spell to prevent any other crowd control. But he has a Lily May to counter those enemy Irons. So definitely this is a very intimidating team. I don't know how to deal with that. And then here he has a Zoo team, but he's not running Floribel. And yeah, because I feel like having the damage threat from Vala in a tanky Zoo or like is basically considered a Zoo team because you have a lot of illusions or have a lot of summons with Burial. But the thing is, it's not like there's not Floribel here for the minions. But basically the idea behind this team is everyone is really tanky. No one is an easy target to kill. Haywin, if you could kill Haywin really early in the fight, maybe that would give you the advantage you need. But even then, dealing with the rest of the team will be very difficult. So, and then he has that Vala off in the back. And I think Vala does best either in like a double or triple threat team and you try to kill enemies immediately and just wipe them out and get a 5v4 advantage. Or she does well in these really tanky teams which are difficult to break through. And she, if you have enough protection onto her, she's just going to be able to one by one kill enemy heroes without any like major time crunch to try and kill them. So this is also a very effective team. And Shakir will be buffing Varial if Varial is up in the front line. If Vala jumps to the front line, Shakir will be buffing the Vala. So I like Shakir with Vala as well. Going for the evocation spell just for more shielding and more damage from the stats. Okay, so far we've seen most of the top ranking defenses. Gazon has managed, so he I think managed to get into the top 5 or hold reliably top 20 of Supreme Arena. So shout out to him, that is a great accomplishment for him. On his second team, he is running Lily May in a crowd control oriented team. He might be running the same team that we're running here with the Temesia. And I think the thing is, I found out about this positioning. Vala still can mark your Sylvina or Vala in this position. So I've changed my positioning to be like this, because this way there is no way to mark anyone other than the Temesia with the enemy Vala. So I changed my positioning to this. But anyway, this is still a good team, and it has probably the Vala and Sylvina and the hidden tiles. You don't know where they are, who they're going to be targeting, and so that is a really good strategy and can catch people off guard. Here he has his pretty much full crowd control team like we have here, with the Granny as a tank. And Granny is really a good option for Raging Duel. She's very difficult to break through, and once she casts her ultimate, she'll have the crowd control for your own rage stack, and she will synergize well and give that factional synergy with the other wild heroes you're probably running for a crowd control team. And then Rowan is here to increase the energy for Arden to have him ultimate quicker, and then of course the Lily May to interrupt the Iron on the enemy team. And then finally he is running a Stroll team with Freyasto and Thorn Bolt, which is like, yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily if this is better, but this is definitely pretty good. The only major issue I see with this team is the Haywin right in the back. Haywin can get Vala marked. Maybe he has the bonus energy gain from the main Freyasto onto the Haywin and trying to ultimate and get the damage reduction heal before anyone can kill her. So either way, it is like a fully tanky Stroll team with the Scarlita, which is the way I think Scarlita should be run, because you just want to have surviving allies, have some frontline protection when she descends so she can clean everyone up. Damien definitely does really well in a team like this, and Haywin as well for that healing. But I feel like Haywin is a little bit targetable here. I would have liked the Thorn Swirl packing the Haywin probably. And yeah, like even one thing I was considering is having one Freyasto like the illusion in front of the Scarlita, give her the damage reduction, and have the illusion like take the aggro at the beginning, because you want your illusion to die first before the main Freyasto, because then he gets a stun onto the enemies, and then you have the Thorn Swirl packed in the Haywin, and then your final Thorn, your main Freyasto himself can be in front of the Damien to give him the energy boost. Then everyone's kind of getting a buff. But yeah, good teams overall. And Did we see True Fire? For some reason, I'm thinking we didn't see it. Like, the Haywin is really susceptible. Like, I feel like... I think, did we see this? I don't know. The Thorn is so impacting the Iron. I think we didn't talk about this. And then there's a Carolina as well. So definitely the crowd control team with Carolina is good. However, I feel like Carolina is in not a great position here because Rainier swap as well as Sylvina jump right onto her because she's on a symmetrical tile. And Thorn is so impacting the Iron, which I do think that's interesting. Because then the idea is they both go up in the front line. Iron is not easy. Iron is even tankier than normal, and then he is able to get off multiple ultimates with his survivability. And then the final team is running a Scarlita team along with Vala as well. Tamisa in the back to try and take any potential Vala marks of the enemy. And then the Rowan is here for the energy boost for the team, Granny, and for getting Vala's ultimate faster. I do think I would reposition Vala to be in front, or swap Vala and Rowan, because in this position, or put Tamisia behind the Vala, then the Vala is untargetable by enemy Valas. However, Sylvina can still potentially jump onto Vala, but usually that won't be enough to kill her. So again, very tanky team. Tanky teams do well with Scarlita, and Vala is also a real threat, damage threat in this team. Okay, so I think we've seen pretty much all of the teams. Soraka is now in rank 2. Okay, we haven't seen the rank 5 player. I think this is the final team. And in this team, he is not even using the hidden tiles. He's positioned everyone... Okay, maybe he hasn't changed his formation, but this is Sun... I would think people would have changed their formations by now, but... Diagonal, I mean, I guess the idea is that... well, Vala can mark the diagonal, right? If Vala is placed... Oh... Vala can't mark the diagonal. Vala is going to mark the Haywin. But Sylvina can jump onto diagonal, but maybe he's thinking that won't be enough to kill the diagonal. But this is a diagonal Scarlita team, which definitely they are very scary to deal with. However, I wonder, does he have a Thorn as a final hero protecting the Haywin? Because you don't want Haywin to get insta-nuked either. And the diagonal, the positioning just seems strange about the diagonal, because even if you can't jump onto him, you could jump onto him with Sylvina, even if Vala can't mark him. And you could have like other heroes right here who are going to be targeting the diagonal down before the rest of the team. Like even if you put Shakir here to run up towards the diagonal. So interesting. And on the second team, crowd control team, as we can see again, pretty standard Iron nuke team with Rowan and Granny instead of like Thorn and Damien, because those are probably used on a different defense. Granny has crowd control in her kit, great factional synergy from the Wilders, which you want to get. You want to ideally have at least one factional synergy, even if it's only 3 of a kind of a hero faction, because that is going to give you at least 10% bonus stats. And then Carolina for the damage and crowd control, and Rowan as well for the energy generation with the Cascade spell for more magical damage. Final team is a double threat, actually triple threat team with Odie, Sylvina, and Vala, which is definitely kind of scary. However, again, on non-hidden tiles, having the Sylvina and Vala right there out in the open, knowing where they're gonna land, is it's not too amazing, because like we have here, you have the Granny in the back. If Granny's being targeted by Val and Sylvina, we don't really care. She is not going to die to them. And then Odie will be attacking my frontline Thorn, for example, and that is also not good for Odie, because Odie wants a target that he can kill. He doesn't want a target which has multiple lives like Thorn. And then there's the Brutus and the Smokey as well for like the 3 Mauler for the factional synergy, and the Smokey to buff up both Odie and the Vala. Probably could place Vala on the marked tile though, because she does have the mobility, or even at least Sylvina probably on the marked tile. You would want someone to gain those buff effects. But anyway guys, I think that is going to be it for all of the top ranking teams. Oh, we haven't seen Alok. We have to see Alok. And that is going to be the final defense that we can see here. And that is the rank 2 right now. So people are competing for it right now, even though there's still like 4 hours left until the first tally is going to happen. Okay, so Alok, I do like his defense choices for sure, and he has managed to clear me quite a few times. We've done some videos showing his like Elsa combo team. So here he's opted for Almas with Iron and Aridin, and Parissa as well. Interestingly, I would think maybe Elsa would be better here rather than the Parissa, or maybe even Lily May. But the problem here is like my Lily May can interrupt their Iron, and then the enemy won't have crowd control for some time until the next Iron ultimate cast. And if I bring all of my crowd control, that should be enough to stack up my rage and then be able to kill it here. But definitely this is a good option for a team you can use on your defense. And I'm talking about like maybe and you should take like what I'm saying in my maybe improvement ideas with a grain of salt, because it's only if you have these options. Like if, for example, you don't have like Elsa, you don't have so many different heroes, Lily May and stuff built, then these teams can be very effective. And even when you try to optimize your defense and have the best overall options, there's no 100% way you're clearing everyone. Even Splash, who's a rank 1 player who has a lot of Paragon 3, Paragon 4, he did, like I think yesterday or the day before, someone killed, cleared him in Supreme Arena and took his rank 1 spot, and they weren't even that heavily upgraded. I think they only had like not even Paragons on the heroes. So definitely the game allows you, and offense has such a big advantage. Even if you have really strong defenses like Splash has, I think his defenses are really good, difficult to deal with. The people on offense can sometimes always clear you, so you just have to try to come up with a defense which you think has some RNG potential of winning, or against certain comps it will do well, and know that if people have certain hero options, they are just going to clear you and there's nothing you can really do about it. Like even upgrading in Paragon, sometimes it's just not even enough. Like, and that is the thing. Okay, so here you have the Vala, Sylvina, Odie triple threat team, very similar to the other team we saw, and is running Brutus and Smokey as well. Odie on the buff Tal, I like that idea, because even though you might think Odie is a bit susceptible, like you could run at the Odie will get off a lot of damage before he's even able to be targeted and killed from this position, and him with the attack speed buff definitely is really valuable for his damage. And if everyone's going after the Odie, there's Sylvina, Vala attacking your backline too. So I like the triple threat type concept. And if you guys don't have many heroes developed, but you have Sylvina, Vala, Odie, for example, you can even run this on your regular arena defense. If you don't have better options, this can be very viable. There's someone who holds the top 10-20 rank of our server, Farcalis, I believe, who runs this triple threat team. Like he runs, I think, Thorn, Sylvina, Vala, Odie, and then finally Rainier. And he is holding top 20. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for all of the Supreme Arena defenses. We're looking at the top 10 rankers for my district. Let me know your guys' defenses that you're running, or join our AFK Journey Discord, because we have one of those and people share their arena comps and ask for tips and advice, and that will be in the description of this video if you do want to join that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully these defenses give you some inspiration of what type of teams you can try to run, because everyone has a different collection of heroes, and you could definitely try and experiment with some of these defenses, because if these people are in the top 10 of Supreme Arena, it means their defenses are pretty good. It doesn't mean necessarily these are the best all-time defenses and they're unclearable. There's really no defense which is unclearable, in my opinion. Maybe fully stacked Celestial Hypogean heroes, but other than that, I think every defense is somewhat clearable. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this one, and I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.